Welcome back to Lost Legacies. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
Well, we did it, man. We finished this little 6-episode miniseries. So yeah, before we jump into it, we kind of want to discuss our upcoming schedule and stuff, especially because we do know we have some listeners who aren't really fans of Lost, but they're fans of us, Sam. So we'll give the updates in the beginning of the episode, so we don't have to make them listen to the whole thing.
See, because we're thoughtful, we're caring that way.
Yes, we are. But yeah, so for some reason, I still don't know why, season 3 of Lost, they did these 6 episodes as a miniseries, and I believe this was the fall of 06. Yeah, fall of 06. They gave us these 6 episodes, and then after this one, Sam, they went on break for 13 weeks.
What? That's an oddly specific time.
Yeah, that's like a summer break, essentially.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, I don't know what the thinking was behind that.
Yeah.
It's over 3 months.
Weird.
Yeah. So don't worry, fans of Lost Legacies or just fans of Matt and Sam. We will not be going on a break for over 3 months. We will only be going on break for a single month. However, we might still be dropping some content. We're working on some stuff. We're going to be dropping some content, including some idea. You know, both Sam and I had a while back that we kind of wanted to lean more into, which we will once the show picks up, after March. We want to start talking about things other than Lost. So that's going to kind of stretch out the Lost seasons a bit, but I think it's also going to be more fun. So the idea is once a month, date to be determined, once a month, we will have just an episode, just us chatting, talking about the previous month, everything that happened, and just, what's good, I just finished editing our last episode and we talked about the Matrix Resurrections for like 20 minutes. So if we have like one episode a month where we can just talk about anything, I think that'll kind of lessen that in the other episodes. I don't know. Who knows? It might just make it more. It just might end up doing a 2-hour episode about nothing. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's what we do have in plan. That's what we have planned in store. I don't know. I'm going on no food right now.
Yeah. It's been a long Monday, y'all.
Oh yeah, it's a Monday. So it's we've been working on some ideas for stuff to do. And so after this episode, there will be no scheduled episodes through March. We might drop in something here or there just to kind of, keep you interested, keep you on your toes. But yeah, other than that, Sam, what's good, my friend? What's new?
Not too much. We finished.
I'm sorry. I just asked you and cut you off, but like, I really feel like there hasn't really been much to watch, right?
I mean, probably. There hasn't been like too many new releases.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It feels kind of like we're in a dry spell right now.
Yeah, definitely. We're kind of like in between. And well, I mean, like there are also movies that are coming out or shows that are coming out that like I don't particularly want to watch, So there's that. We did finish She-Ra and the Princess of Power.
How was that?
Incredible. Super incredible. I wanted to cry like several points through that whole show. It's great. I loved it. All 5 seasons are fantastic.
And that's is that Noelle Stevenson, right?
Yes.
Isn't she showrunner or writer on that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And she voices one of the characters.
Now, okay, so this isn't connected with the He-Man series, right? They're 2 different universes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, these 2 are 2 different universes, but the canon is that He-Man and She-Ra are cousins. You know,
Oh, okay.
even in this version, you know, she lifts up her sword and she's like, for the honor of Grayskull, and she turns into She-Ra, and it's like, oh, that's really cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were gonna like connect it all at some point, but they didn't, and honestly, that's fine.
Yeah, because is She-Ra a character in He-Man
I think so.
or in the new one? Right? Like
I
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I want to check it out. The trailer looks amazing, but I haven't yet. So,
Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah, I heard it's good. I heard it pissed off a lot of people,
Ooh, really?
and yeah, and for me, that's just an indication that that's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all I heard about, I've heard a lot of people say good things about She-Ra.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's super gay and
Oh yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Good for
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to transition by saying, speaking of super gay, but I don't know if it's exactly the truth. I was going to talk about Vox Machina. Because, yeah, there's nothing really there yet as far as being like a gay show. I think
Mm-hmm.
Critical Role, they try their best to be very diverse in their relationships. But I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want to give any spoilers away. Because I already know what's coming because I've watched Critical Role.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Legends of Vox Machina, man. I've just been I was such a fan of Critical Role and of this new cartoon. So I'm doing my research. I'm reading all the reviews, watching all the reaction videos, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone's loving it. Everyone's it's so cool because it's one thing to see people's reactions to the show, like, oh, okay, whatever, this is cool, but it's a whole other thing to hear their thoughts on it and say like, wow, these voice actors, they're really good. Which, I mean, if you don't know, we've kind of talked about it here and there. Critical Role is it's a D&D live stream show, so it's a bunch of voice actors who play D&D every week, and they played those characters for years, and now they're
Mm-hmm.
doing an animated series on it. That's why they're so good, because they're such good actors and they've been playing those characters for years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and it's cool to see everyone praising it and loving how strong the female characters are. I was like, yeah, you don't get to see that often. And as far as animation goes, you don't get to see too many shows that have that many main characters.
Mm-hmm.
So just because it costs so much to animate a single character, much less 8 lead characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're 6 episodes in right now. We're halfway through this season. What are your thoughts, Sam?
I love it. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that like I thought the first like 3 episodes they weren't really rough per se, but it is such a switch from like going from, you know, being accustomed to sitting down for 3.5-4 hours listening to one D&D session,
Mm-hmm.
and then seeing it play out in like 28 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was interesting. And I know I've heard some people have this, they have problems with like the animation style,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that's a problem that's inherent with Critical Role. I think that's just a lot of like Western animation right
Yeah.
now is like it's in like a weird field, you know, where it's like it doesn't exactly know where it wants to be. Like it wants to be a cartoon, but it doesn't want to be too cartoony, you know, like it still wants to have an element of realism. And but I'm on the side that I think it looks great. I think fantasy worlds lend themselves to animation very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there's another way that you could, you know, adapt like a D&D story outside of doing animation. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I really like it. I've watched some Critical Role. Technically I'm still like in the middle of this arc
Mm-hmm.
that they're basing their first season off of. So technically from these 6 episodes, I'm caught up.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So
That's true.
yeah, so I guess I've gotta binge like 12 more episodes so that I'll be prepared for the next 3. Um but yeah, I did see a video compilation of them trying to get through the door in the campaign session. And then and then right after that, they showed the clip from the show where they're trying to get through the door and they can't. And I thought that was really cool. It was like a 15-minute video, and like 14 minutes of that was the session where they're trying to get in. Yeah, so I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, like it's back to what you said about, the length. Those first 3 episodes really felt short. Episodes 4 through 6, they're the same length. It just feels like the pacing was better. Like they were able to use that time more. You can't do it perfectly. It's just extremely hard to adapt a D&D game. And I don't know, I think they're doing it well. Like they have to change so much and move around so much, but we're still getting the gist of it. Like that door scene, that didn't happen there. That was an entirely different moment. But it's like it fit in the context of the story they're telling in the cartoon. So we still get that. And I'm also really surprised, like all the little character moments we're getting are really going a long way because like you said, the episodes are so short. And I feel like that's what we really felt in those first 3 episodes. Like, man, this is flying by and they're so action heavy. And now as we're getting further in, we're like, oh, we're seeing all the little character moments. And yeah, I don't know. I think I love it. I really dig it. To all the animation haters out there, I don't know what to say. Watch more anime stuff. I don't watch a lot of animated stuff, so I don't really know what they're talking about. But the animators that I have seen talk about it online, they love it. And I think part of it is because they know the amount of work it took to do this. Because I saw one where they're talking about the shadows. If you look at a lot of just animation, you have, I don't know what you call it, shading, blending. I don't know. There's like almost no shading on the characters in this. You'll get it in the background, but then you'll look like at a picture of Grog and there's a straight up line where the shadow ends on his muscles and stuff. But that means someone's having to physically, animate that shot for shot, frame by frame. And to me, it looks incredible. It does have a very comic booky feel. But the cinematography is also, you could tell it's very anime influenced. So I don't know. And there's this one girl who brought this up. I hadn't even noticed it, but we're like 2 scenes into the show, and it's like the sovereign and the council, they're just talking around a table. So there's not a lot happening. It's just bodies on screen talking, but she's flipping out because of how beautiful it looks and the way the sun is reflecting off the dust. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, like you could see the dust in the air around them. I'm like, man. So I don't know if that's actually drawn or if that was computer or not. But yeah, like I'm just impressed by it. And of course, Critical Role, they've always had like the behind the scenes and stuff. So they've been doing like watch parties where they talk to the animators and stuff. And they talk about like why they had to do the dragon digitally. And I was like, yeah, it all makes sense. So I like it. I dig it. I highly recommend The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime. Halfway through the first season right now. Yeah.
And I'll say this to all you animation haters out there: may all of your Wi-Fi lag.
Yeah. It's just so wild because I'm watching it and like this is one style and I really like the style. And then I think of like, oh, just last year we had Arcane, which is easily my favorite like animated creation ever. And it's such a different style and it's so beautiful. but like I can't say that one is better than the other, you know. They're both, it's just both good on animation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hate, man. Just love. Just love. Just love. You know? As Paulo Coelho says, when you die and you go to the pearly gates of heaven, all they're going to ask is, did you love enough? I doubt he was talking about animation. He was probably talking about, you know, people. But in this example, I will say he's talking about people and animation. Just love, you know? Love,
Yeah.
love.
It's a universal, I think. It's a
Yeah.
universal, just like love things, you know, love. And, you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of like what we were talking about last week. You know, we were so down, you know, it's so downbeat. We were so dour, you know, just because like it feels like that's where everybody's mindset is at right now. Just be like, just stop, just love stuff, love the things that you love, and you don't have to speak about the things that you don't like. There,
Yeah, man.
simple as that.
The amount of energy it takes you to hate or to troll or just to criticize or critique is so much, when you could use half of that energy just for love and it'll get you twice as far. You know, it's just like, just got cruise, man. It's like that scene in Dune where Paul just has to shut off the engines and glide. That's what love is, baby. But let's not talk about Dune right now. Let's not talk about Timothy Chalamet. Let's talk about some Lost. In fact, we're talking about season 3, episode 6. I Do. Jack makes a decision regarding both his and Ben's fate. Meanwhile, Kate tries futilely to save Sawyer's life. Futilely? Is that a word? Right?
I think
Futilely?
So, yeah. Futilely.
Futilely, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I have to say, I was scared because I didn't know what episode we were on, and you were like, "Oh yeah, episode 6." I'm like, "Did I watch the right episode for this episode?" Oh no,
right?
Okay,
you did the wrong one once, and now you got like that PTSD. You're like, "Oh God."
I know. I'm like, "Oh, we did this whole awesome opening, and then we're gonna get to this part and be like, well, I actually didn't watch that episode." So
you're like, "Whoops."
So this was a waste of time.
But you know who wasn't a waste of time? My boy, Nathan Fillion. Man, it was good to see him. And this was like, what? This is 2006. So was this post Firefly?
Oh, easily.
Right after Firefly?
This is after Serenity.
Serenity, what year was Serenity?
2005.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah. So Firefly had already been canceled. They were trying to shop it around, do all the stuff. The fans, obviously, you know, like came together, and then they finally made the movie. So yeah, that was that was 05.
Did you expect him to show up?
No, I didn't. Well,
did you recognize his voice?
Yeah. Well, because again, the people who were putting up the thumbnails on Hulu.
Yeah,
I saw his face. I was like, is that Nathan Fillion?
He's kind of at an angle, so I was hoping you wouldn't notice. But yeah, he's in the thumbnail.
Yeah, no, I recognize that man's face anywhere. All the
and
angles.
His voice too, because we hear him outside Kate's door. Yeah, open up, police. Yeah, like,
yeah, I was like, that's Captain Malcolm Reynolds. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Man, it's always nice to see him. And he played it really, I felt really bad for him in this episode. You know, he was just a man in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, so let's talk about this because we always talk flashbacks first. This was a Kate episode, man. And I enjoyed this flashbacks for this episode. I said, like, essentially, I guess it's the struggle of Kate. She's always been in that struggle, you know, of she can't stop running. And this is like the most extreme case. She's getting married she's in love. And at first I was even curious, like, because I really don't remember, this episode. So I was wondering, like, is this a con? Is she playing him, or is she really in love? I wish they would have gone more into like how they met, because that's kind of what's interesting me. Like, how does she fall in love and get married to a cop of all people?
Yeah.
I don't know, but like there's so many like clever little lines in there. I love when they're lying in bed thinking about their wedding in 12 hours. And Nathan Fillion, I forgot what his character is, so he's just Nathan Fillion from this point on. He's saying, he's like, I know, this is fast, but this is real. I've never felt this way before. And I love you, Monica. I was like, oh, what a line, man. He doesn't even know her real name. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And then when she's getting married and she's talking to his mom, and she gives her the, like, was it the necklace?
Yeah, the necklace.
She's like, she mentioned something about a room full of cops out there at the wedding. I was like, oh God, Kate, how'd you end up here?
And then even the priest said something that, like, oh yeah, Nathan Fillion's been coming to this church, forever. And when he finally told me he was getting married, he said, like, the reason that he loved Monica is because what? Oh, dang it. What was it? What was the line?
Because what you see is what you get.
Yeah, what you see is what you get. And I was like, oh my God.
This is like the worst detective ever. He's not even a detective, I don't think, but
I know. Like, this is awful.
Yeah.
Kate should feel bad about this.
Yeah.
But
okay, so essentially they're married for an indeterminate amount of time. And okay, this is kind of what's the problem. Like, there was no spark. Like, there's no like inciting action that happened to like get Kate to actually start feeling these feelings. I guess she's been feeling it the whole time, but essentially she's grocery shopping, she's talking to Nathan Fillion, they're all in love. Okay, whatever. And then what does she do, Sam? She runs to the payphone and she calls Edward Mars, the guy, the agent, man. And I completely forgot, like, because we haven't seen this in Lost so far, but he mentions this in one of the flashbacks, how one day out of the blue, Kate starts calling him.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, oh, I think that was like season 1. Like, I think it's the flashback at the end of season 1, because they're at the airport and he's like processing her. But he mentions that. I completely forgot about it. And she's talking to him how she doesn't want to run anymore and just to leave her alone. And he says, I'll make you a deal. If you can stay put, I won't chase you anymore. But I know you can't. And in my head, I'm like, I want to see this movie. Like, this is the story I want to see. Like, this relationship between Kate and Mars, it's always been, volatile, to say the least. But I love that idea of, and we've seen it before too, of like the detective and whoever he's chasing, he or her is chasing, are calling each other. They're communicating. I always love that. I love that trope. But this is just cool because I don't know, like, what is it? I want to know what that first phone call was like. What was Kate doing? Like, was she asking him to stop chasing? Or was she just trying to like confess? Is like, hey, this is why I did it. There's so many little things in these flashbacks that we didn't get that I really want. But yeah, she ends up having to tell Nathan Fillion the truth, because he bought her tickets to go to Costa Rica for the honeymoon. And she drugged him, revealed who she was, and left. And I'm like, oh, she ran again. That guy's career's over, man. Like, he can't make detective. The whole police force is gonna know that he was married to a fugitive.
Right?
Like, he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
At the least, he would be the laughing stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just That's just what Kate does. She just ruins people's lives.
Yeah, man. She just runs.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of interesting because, like, okay, so why this story? Like, why are we getting these flashbacks with this story?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I guess Kate is technically trying to run, but it's like it makes sense. She's being held captive, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. So on the island, what's really interesting about this episode is like we get these Kate flashbacks, but on the island, I feel like Kate's like very much a side character in this episode when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
the on island stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, she is a little bit. Yeah, she is a little bit, mostly just because like a lot of the drama this episode is still focused on Jack.
Yeah.
Jack trying to um I don't know, grapple with the idea of operating on Ben.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Well, because I feel like we're so used to right now seeing these events uh from the other guy's perspective. So either Jack or Sawyer's perspective. We're 6 episodes in and we finally get a Kate episode. And she's been there since episode, since the first episode here. So I think it's because we're mostly conditioned to see that, to see these events through their eyes. But I mean, yeah, like, because she wakes up, Sawyer's looking at her doing all that stuff. They're having conversation. They're working, and a lot of the issue is still like it almost feels like it's going to be a Sawyer episode, with just how much is on Sawyer in those moments. And it isn't until Juliet like pulls her to talk with Jack that it's like, oh no, like this is sort of Kate's struggle this episode, because she's trying to figure out why Sawyer isn't fighting back.
Yeah.
Why he's just sort of resigned to living like this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it isn't until she sees Jack and they talk that's what sort of sparks it in her, that like, this is bad. Like this isn't a good situation and we need to get out of here. We need to fight to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just so much of this episode, it wasn't just focused on Jack. Like everyone's story revolves around Jack. What's Jack going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's kind of why it's weird. And like, even though she's in the whole episode, the island stuff with her very much felt like kind of a B plot, especially because nothing is really different between her in this episode and her like in the last episode or two. She's still mad at Sawyer. She's still trying to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not until she actually breaks free and breaks him free and Sawyer confesses, he's like, hey, we're not even on our island. There are 2 islands. And he even tells her, he's like, I didn't want you to think, or I wanted you to think we had a chance, and she's pissed. She's heartbroken. And she's in a cage with Sawyer. So they go for it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, it's kind of a hot scene. I mean, because they got the bars, and then like the way she's hanging on the bars and stuff. Like, I gotta credit whoever choreographed this. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really weird too. Like, because I was thinking about this too. I'm like, well, wait a second. There's like no coverage. They're in a cage. I'm like, how are they going to film this? Yeah, I think they did well. I think Evangeline Lilly and Josh Holloway's chemistry is just really good. And it's the trope, man. It's the enemies to lovers trope, and it works. It always works on good old Matt here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. But what's interesting, like, I remember this episode coming out and they kind of teased it as what Lost would do is like, oh, someone, not everyone will make it out of this episode. That's kind of how they teased the last one. And like we kind of all assumed it was Mr. Echo because it was his episode.
Mm-hmm.
This episode, they're saying it's the last one before our break or whatever. Kate must finally decide between Jack and Sawyer. I'm like,
Oh,
wait, what? Really? I was like, what?
Like, it's clearly Sawyer.
It's sure enough, she decides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but once that was kind of stupid. Thanks, ABC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And hey, you sell people on a love triangle, they'll go for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. But is it really a love triangle if only
it's a V? It's more like a love V.
Yeah, it's a love V. Yeah.
The flying V, one might say.
Exactly.
The running V, because Kate, that's all she knows how to do.
Yeah, she just runs away.
Yeah, but man, it was a good scene seeing her and Jack get to interact, and I think they both played it really well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the timeline is. It's still just a few days. Like, I don't think even a week has passed.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Man.
I'm gonna say it's been like 5 days since.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out when we get into the next episodes. Because if you think about it, well, like, what's Locke and them been doing?
Mm-hmm.
It's like not much. Like, it might only be like 3 days.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I guess we're gonna have to keep watching the show to find out. Yeah, and then okay, so we'll get back to Kate and stuff because she has more to do later. But so let's jump into Jack for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
I've never called him this before, but my boy Jack. Man, this is the start of this episode. Man, that was cold. He's like, I never said I was going to operate you. I just want you to know how you're going to die. I was like,
and Ben tries to be, all uppity and snooty and be like, well, I'm very disappointed, Jack. And then Jack goes up to him and he's like, well, Ben, you won't have to be very disappointed for long.
Oh, man.
So
this is crazy because like we really don't know what Jack is going to do. Like, okay, we assume that, okay, he's decided he's not going to do what Ben or what Juliet wants.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to do his own thing. And it's like, oh man. But at the same time, like, Jack should have known they're going to use Sawyer as leverage. You got to do this or we're going to kill Sawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting. I'm like, I think Kate would have been the more obvious option. Do this or we kill Kate.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just everyone was firing on all cylinders this episode. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we just got to bring up real quick Locke. Like they bury Mr. Echo, and Locke finds Echo's walking stick,
mm-hmm.
and he says something like, "I have to believe that Mr. Echo's death happened for a reason. And hopefully, we figure out what it is."
Mm-hmm.
And on his walking stick, he sees carved in the very top the saying, "Lift up your eyes and look north." John 3:05.
Mm-hmm.
And Locke kind of has like an epiphany moment, like, oh.
Mm-hmm. I almost feel like we didn't even need to see them this episode because even like it felt so mysterious. It's like, oh, what are Locke and Saeed going to go get? Because Saeed even calls him out, like, we're not going to the beach, are we, John? He's like, oh, we are. Just got to make a detour first. I'm like, okay. And then it's like, 10 minutes before the episode ends, and then they just cut back and be like, we had to go grab Mr. Echo's walking stick. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like why couldn't you have just had the stick? Like, it was, like I didn't like, I don't like saying that it was a waste of time, but it just felt odd, in an episode that was already doing so much. I feel like it was just kind of included,
Yeah.
probably because, this is the last time we're going to see these characters, for 13 weeks. So, we gotta end it on kind of a cliffhanger, see what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean so that the fan can theorize for, 13 weeks?
Yeah. Cause, Kate made her choice. So there's no more who's she going to end up with, talk. So, yeah. What I want to bring up though is when Locke and Saeed walk off into the jungle, Desmond gives this look because it's just him with Nikki and Paolo, and he just gives this kind of look like, what the hell am I going to do here? And like, I laugh so hard. He's like, why are you leaving me with the new people?
Right?
Yeah, Desmond, we were all feeling that. So I guess, yeah, the next thing we have to bring up, because this is also kind of weird. The more we talk about it, like, wow, this is a really weird episode. Powerful. I think it was a really good episode, but there's some questionable stuff in there, like Alex showing up to attack the others with a slingshot. Like, if this was a kid, like 10, 12 years old, okay, I would get that.
Yeah.
Alex is straight up teenager, if not a little older. Like, I don't know what, she's shooting people with a slingshot.
Yeah.
To find, I'm assuming, what's his name? Carl, I think. Is that the guy's name?
No.
I don't
think it's Carl.
Justin Javier.
Carlton.
She's trying to find Carlton.
Carson. I don't know.
I don't remember. It was very, very weird. Yeah. But as the others drag her away, she yells at Kate, don't believe anything they say. They're liars. They're going to kill your boyfriend. And Kate has this look of panic, and it cuts to black. Commercial break. And in my head, I'm thinking, what's going through Kate's head right now? Is she more afraid of, one, oh my God, they're going to kill Sawyer? Or B, oh my God, am I dating Sawyer?
I think it's more the second one.
Yeah. With Kate, you can never tell, man.
I know.
Yeah, but essentially the rest of the episode,
it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, like, and it's really short too. It all happens in the span of like maybe 10 minutes. Alex somehow is able to like get Jack to escape his cell, and Jack walks in on the camera room and he sees Sawyer and Kate. They got caught in a net. Now this is interesting because I was kind of thinking, like, this seems like a move that Ben would use. Like, oh, Jack happened to escape and wandered into this camera room. But it was Alex, and she really would have no knowing of what's going on there. And maybe it was just convenience or destiny.
Ooh.
I don't know. It was just,
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, Jack sees Kate and Sawyer in a lovingly embrace, and he tells Ben, he's like, I'm gonna do the surgery, I'm gonna save you, but you got to get us the hell off this island. So they decide.
He didn't say us.
Oh, he said me, right?
He said me.
Ooh.
Like, you got to get me the hell off this island.
Ooh. Yeah.
Wait, oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Which makes the next turn of events even more interesting.
Yeah. So he's going to go do the surgery the following morning. Nobody knows what's going to happen. The audience doesn't know what's going to happen. We're like, all right, he's scrubbing up. He goes in. Ben goes under. They start the surgery. Meanwhile, Pickett is just going to go execute Sawyer because Ben's under. And like Jack pulls the move of the century, the Hail Mary. He nicks something like one of the arteries or a nerve or something like that.
Kidney.
Right? Oh, his kidney. And he starts telling everyone, if I don't fix this within the hour, he's going to die. So he's able to like kind of save Sawyer because the other guy, Tom, he gets on the radio, and it's very interesting acting choice because Tom looks very emotional through this scene. He's like, Danny, he's going to kill him. And Danny's like, what? So basically, like, you know, Jax ends up talking to Kate on the radio and says like, hey, you got to go. You got to run. Get the hell out of here. I'm going to hold him back, you know, hold the door. He's holding the door, Sam, which is literally Ben's kidney. So yeah, this is what made it really interesting. We don't know what Jack's going to do. And he ends up sacrificing himself, essentially. He's going to stay behind while Kate and Sawyer run. Yeah. Did not see that coming. But again, like every now and then we get these little moments of, you know, like the paragon that is Jack Shepherd. Like he really is a good man. He just made some poor choices, you know, and he's willing to do this. And Kate saying, I can't leave you. I can't, blah, blah. Oh, she doesn't say I love you, but we can't leave. It's raining. It's such a perfect scene. He's like, damn it, Kate, run. And it cuts to black. And Sam, that's the last we saw of them for 13 freaking weeks. Oh, man.
I do not envy you.
Why?
Because you had to wait 13 weeks to
yeah.
And I do not.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, we were just talking about, I guess, the last episode or something where Lost really benefits from binging, or even not even binging, but just being able to stream it because you could jump into the next one. But this is one of those episodes where it's like, you know what? It's kind of cool that if you had to wait, it sucks while you're in it, but I don't know, like it just adds to the drama. It gives you more time to theorize.
Well, that's why I like the way we're doing it, you know, because obviously I really like the show. I would have binged it all already, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so having to break it up like this and doing one episode a week, like it's kind of been my constant, you know, especially like early in the pandemic, you know, it's kind of a godsend, you know, to have something to look forward to every week, you know, just be like, hey, it's Monday. I get to record Lost with my brother, you know? So, and now like, it's still kind of that, but it is also like a metric, you know? So it's like, oh yeah, like we've been doing this for a long time. You know, we're just barely into season 3 right now, but it's also like, I don't know. Like, it's cool. It's cool that like I get to experience this again. You know, because I know that that's a format that more streaming networks are doing, you know, like because Disney's doing it with their Star Wars stuff and their Marvel shows, like one a week. And I actually really like that because I like getting onto the internet, you know, and seeing like, oh, like we're talking about it, you know, we're doing all this stuff. Like it reminds me of when we would watch, you know, Supernatural or Smallville or, you know, or Lost every week. So it's like it's nice.
I think just like it makes more sense even from like the business side of it. Like we were praising Netflix when they first started, like, oh, they're dropping their entire shows all at once, you know, all 10 episodes all at once. And we're like, hey, that's cool. But it's like, that's the instant gratification, you know, because once that show leaves the top 10 of what's in the zeitgeist, it's not coming back until season 2. But when you have a show that's building and you have to go episode by episode or week by week, it stays in the zeitgeist. People keep talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's just cool because when it's on television, that was how it was done. That's how you had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't have to do it that way anymore. But certain streaming platforms are making that options to do it because it makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense. And I think like that was Netflix like big advantage when it came on. It's like, hey, we're gonna have all 13 episodes of this season. They're all up. And that's what really popped off this binging culture, where it's like, oh yeah, I can just keep watching it. I can just do that. I can jump right back into episode 1 as soon as the season's done, do all that stuff. So that's what really gave Netflix their advantage coming up. But now that there are so many other streaming platforms that are kind of doing the same thing, where it's like, oh, we're gonna have all these episodes up, or like other shows are like, oh, we're gonna drop them in blocks, so they're only gonna be 3 episodes this week, next week another 3 episodes, like things like that. Or like the Disney model where it's like, nope, we're doing them 1 a week. Mm-hmm. I think that's sort of become the new way to sort of stay on top and to stay within the zeitgeist, because something like The Witcher, that season drops and it's in, and like, oh yeah, we're talking about it. There's maybe a build up, because they're dropping the trailers, so everybody's rewatching season 1 or something like that. But you're absolutely right. Like once that initial season drops, like that's it. Whereas all these other shows, I think, have they have an advantage because we're still talking about Mandalorian, Mm-hmm. And we're still talking about Boba Fett, and we're going to be talking about Moon Knight in March, all that. Like it's so that's really cool.
Oh man, I'm glad we're back in this place where we get to this, or we don't decide, they decide for us, but where we get to do 1 episode a week.
We get to experience that.
So, but like, as we have seen, especially with season 2 of Lost, that can be a detriment, because I feel like that's why season 2 was such a slog. Because it was good, but man, it was so dark, and there were some slow moments of that season. So yeah, but yeah, man. Okay, so I let's just jump in it, because we're pretty much done about talking about what actually happened in the episode. So what are your theories? What's going to happen in episode 7, which is 13 weeks away?
Oh man. Oh geez.
It's a hell of a cliffhanger, man. That's how you do it.
We're going to come back with a Charlie episode.
Oh God. Yeah. Right. We're not even going to see anyone on this island.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No way. They wouldn't do that. No, damn it. We're probably going to come back and it's going to be a Jack episode.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. It's and it's going to be tense, because it's going to pick up right where it left off. And, we're going to see Kate and Sawyer run away, and it's going to be this whole like contentious thing with like Jack and Juliet and, whatever the other guy's name is. Yeah. So there's going to be lots of contention. It's going to be a heavy episode, but yeah.
I think I can confirm, without spoiling anything, that it will be a heavy episode. So we'll see.
For sure.
Okay, so this is gonna be tough. VIP.
You mean MVPs?
Oh, geez, that's the second time I've said that. Who's the VIP of this episode, Sam?
We're just gonna switch it up now. It's season 3. We're bringing in VIPs now.
What does VIP stand for?
Very important person.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
MVP is most valuable player.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go wild here.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna throw this out here. But I want to do a triple MVP
Oh, okay.
with our three leads, Jack, Kate, and Sawyer.
Yep.
Because I don't think this episode shows us anything new or a different side of Kate that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though this is a Kate episode, it's really nothing that we haven't seen. Although I do really like her moment where she's talking to Nathan Fillion, and she's saying like, I can't do this. I almost got pregnant. You know, me, I can't do taco night. I can't do this. Like,
oh, that was what the inciting incident was.
Yeah. She's shopping. And when he calls, she's just like, oh yeah, I'm just shopping for dinner. It's taco night. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's what sort of like kicks it off, even though she's already been like feeling this.
She's been feeling it. She's been talking to the detective and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, like this is what sparked it. Yeah.
Well, no, because
this is what sparks her call.
Well, because he even says, he's like, it's been a while since you've called.
Oh, okay.
And, and that's why I'm like, oh, that's why I wanted to know, like, why did she start?
Yeah.
So she's already been talking to him on the phone. Mm-hmm. But I guess, her pregnancy test is what kind of sparked her to actually run again. Like that was kind of like the last straw.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. So yeah, I will say that like that was all great. All of her stuff on the island was great, but I feel like they were all sort of working in tandem, which is wild because Jack and Sawyer still haven't seen each other.
Right. Yeah.
Like this whole season. I think Sawyer saw Jack when he had like the sack over his head, but that's it. So the first time Jack sees Sawyer this whole time is on the TV screen where he sees, you know, like him and Kate like holding each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I just think like all three of them are working like they're fully their own characters now, and they don't need a lot of material to make them work, you know, to give us those performances now. So yeah, I'm gonna give him MP. I was gonna say MP3. I'm gonna give MP3 to yeah. That's what they're gonna be called. They're the MP3s. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think also because a lot of times we've seen characters, they get a flashback episode, but we can't give it to the MVP to them because like it wasn't there, you know, like, oh, another Jack episode, but it didn't really add more to Jack, or it didn't really challenge Matthew Fox in a way. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see those three leads actually having the material to really chew into. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. So no, yeah, I definitely support that. Mm-hmm. The MP3s for this episode. Yeah.
Also, I just got a shout out to Nathan Fillion. A little bit of Nathan Fillion always goes a long way.
Yeah, it really goes a long way to empathize with that situation, because you want to believe that Kate's in love because she really is. So you needed someone who could really sell that, you know. And Nathan Fillion is like a lovable guy, you know. You want that relationship to work. But at the same time, you really want to hate Kate for running out again. And it's really easy because she's, you know, Nathan Fillion's the victim here. So yeah, I think that was perfect casting. It was really good. So I'm not going to give a little peek into the next episode because it's technically the end of the mini season.
Oh, okay.
I know, dude. It kind of sucks because I really want to jump back into the show and keep going, but we do need to. Oh, we didn't explain why we're taking a month off, did we?
Oh no, we didn't. Tricked you. We're not nice after all.
Yeah, take that. We've been talking about it for a while, but Sam and myself are working on another podcast, or at least trying to get it started. Yeah.
I'm oohing and ahhing because we're working on another show. Yeah,
so you're trying to jump in.
No.
It is a Dungeons and Dragons actual play podcast that we've been working on. We're really trying to get that going within a month, or at least a month. We're hoping. We don't have exact date yet because we're like, I feel like, I don't know. I don't run track. We're on the final yards. I don't know what you want to call it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's try not to use sports metaphors when we're not sports people. Okay.
We're in the last round.
Yeah, there you go. We're in the final countdown. Okay.
Yeah. Final countdown. We're at the end. We're sprinting towards the end. So we don't have the exact date of when we're gonna premiere it yet. So we're trying to sort all that stuff out. We will also be premiering it with a Patreon attached as well. So we will have like other content, more Matt and Sam, as always. You can't get enough. So by the time our next episode comes up, we'll probably have more info. I don't know if the podcast will be live by then, since we do pre-record Lost Legacies.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say we'll be live yet. But yeah, so we'll probably definitely have more solid info then, but that's kind of what we're working on right now. And just because it's the first like month we're kind of working on to get this stuff ready, we need to have everything ready to go on day one. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. A little Dungeons and Dragons love with Matt and Sam. It's a little project we've been working on, technically you could say our entire lives, and we'll explain more about that later. But yeah, so no preview to the next episode. However, I will end by saying, Sam, we got our first fan question.
That's right, we did.
From Cat Jimenez on Twitter.
You take that back.
That's literally what it says right here, at Cat Jimenez on Twitter.
All right.
I guess we should also say that Cat Jimenez is your wife.
Yes.
So thank you. However,
thanks, Cat.
Catherine, I will edit your question because this is it's not really a family podcast. I don't know. But
family members do listen to this podcast. So
that's true. That's true.
Hi, Dad.
So let's see. Cat Jimenez says, just listen to your most recent episode of Lost Legacies, and I gotta say, huge fan. I have a question for both of you. Bang, marry, kill the following characters: Charlie, Kate, and Jack. I thought about this, and I already forgot my answer. I think. Do you have yours already?
No.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't know how to play Bang, Marry, Kill, you're gonna find out real quick. I'd bang Kate. I'd marry Jack, and I'd kill Charlie. Now, here's my thinking.
Oh, geez.
Charlie, he seems like a good guy, but he never takes responsibility for anything. He always blames other people, and I can't stand for that. He's got to go.
Yeah.
Kate, she's super gorgeous. Realistically, I mean, she's a woman, so she's the only one I'm physically attracted to here. However, she runs, man. She's gonna leave me just like Nathan Fillion. So, yeah. So that leaves by process of elimination. The only one to marry is Jack. Now, I will say this. Like I said, I really think Jack is a good guy. He's also very obsessive at work. So I feel like at his best, he would be a good husband. At his worst, he would never be around. So I really don't. I could go either way on this one.
Yeah.
I have a lot of problems with the character of Jack. So at his worst, he wouldn't be there, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my thinking.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like, honestly, it is gonna feel a little bit like a cop out, but I have to agree with your list.
Same one?
Yeah, same list.
Okay.
I was kind of hesitating, like where to put, like should I swap Charlie and Kate? You know, like I don't know, because like, hey, Charlie's in a band, you know, like And if Scott Pilgrim taught us anything, it's like guys in a band, they,
I
they get around.
I
They
don't
get
know.
around. But you're absolutely right. Charlie is just self-obsessive and narcissistic, always blaming everybody else, never takes responsibility. It isn't until like recently, I guess. So, but
Yeah.
no, also the drug thing. Not a fan, not into it. Get out of here. Yeah.
Okay.
Kate kind of, like let's of all the people that Kat could have chosen.
I know. I feel like
this
was very specific.
Yeah, this is very specific. These are maybe the worst options in
Other
the
than
entire
Nikki
show.
and Paolo, these are the worst options.
But I'll give you this. Kate's a fugitive. So like she's on the run, doing all this stuff. We
Never
get caught.
around.
It's huh?
So she's never around, or
no, it's passionate.
Oh, okay.
Because we never know when it could be our last time.
Okay.
So of course she's gonna leave me heartbroken, but the memory will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
And as for Jack, Jack's problem is he needs to fix everything.
Yeah.
When he's around, he's in the OR all day. He's in surgery all day. So that leaves me, who's very much an introverted person. I get the house all to myself all day.
That's
most
true.
of the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a win-win. So yeah, there you go. That's my answer.
Okay, so this one's really going to throw us for a loop, though. Because in my opinion, I've never really liked this game, Bang, Marry, Kill.
Yeah.
Because I have a more difficult version. Mm-hmm. And I think someone just used this version just so they can like say it online and not be like, rude or, anything like that. But I think this is a much more difficult question.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, Kate, Charlie. Friend, marry, kill.
Oh, that's the one. I thought the one that you had was friend, marry, and bang. Because the whole issue.
That's right.
Yeah. The whole issue is that like if the kill option is there, then it's like, oh yeah, we can just get rid of the one that we don't like.
That's right. Okay. Okay. Friend, marry, bang.
Yeah. So Jack, it's like one you will always be friends with.
The other one you marry. The other one you bang.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's right. So, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. So what makes this difficult is that you can't just throw one out.
Yeah.
And kill them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine would still be the same though.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So then what about Charlie? So you would friend Charlie?
Yeah.
I guess I could see that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jack and Kate would still be the same, but Charlie, I feel like Charlie, I don't know if he would be a good friend, but he would be cool to hang out with.
Yeah.
It's more of like his personal life where he screws up. I don't really see him screwing up other people's lives. Like Kate,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Marry Jack, bang Kate, be best friends with Charlie.
Well, hang on now. We just said friends.
Well, okay,
best friends.
All right, friends. Okay.
I'm saving myself, Matthew. I'm saving my best friend status for my boy Hugo. Okay?
I was gonna say Hurley. Yeah, that was super easy. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about it like these choices that Kat gave us were very specific and challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I guess that's what's kind of cool about this show. Like every character is flawed, like extremely flawed. I was trying to think of a character that wasn't maybe flawed. The only one I could really think about is Sun. And I'm not going to say that Sun isn't flawed, but compared to everyone else on the island, it seems like Sun's flaws or anything holding her back is already done. Like all of that happened off island.
Yeah.
And now she's kind of dealing with it. Well, now with the whole pregnancy and stuff, and will Jin ever find out, about that guy, the affair.
Mm-hmm.
But like, because everyone else it's like this character journey that they're on. I mean, I guess that's good character writing. So it's kind of interesting to see Sun, who seems like she has her shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Knock on wood. We'll see. I don't know. Hurley kind of does too, except he went through his whole like mental break, and we haven't really seen the aftermath of losing Libby.
Yeah,
we barely seen him this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This is tough. But I think as far as first fan questions goes, that one was pretty banging. So yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess I don't have an episode to plug, so I guess we just end it.
Well,
it
see you next time.
Weird.
Get lost.
Get lost, guys. See you in a couple weeks. Nope. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's been a crazy 2022 so far.
Hell of a year.
Jeez, yeah, I know. We'll definitely see you in a couple weeks. Yeah, so if you want to ask us a fan question, be like Cat Jimmy's and shoot us a question on Twitter at #LostLegacies. You can also find me at Twitter _Matt Jimenez and on Instagram at HolyHeadGrenade of Antioch.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Reel, that's REEL, Texas Weirdo.
As always, get lost.
lost.